So here's how you can start your first profitable e-commerce store and see instant results, see long-term, reliable, consistent results and build a proper business. This is lesson 10 out of our 10 lesson course. Now in this video, I want to talk to you about advanced marketing strategies, copywriting, how you can increase the conversion rates on your landing page, why people aren't buying, and how you can understand purchase behavior so you can actually essentially break into somebody's mind and convince them to purchase your product just by using copywriting. And it's an incredibly powerful skill. So just so you know, all of the other lessons are uploaded. You can go ahead and you can skip around if you're a bit confused. You can go back and watch some of the other lessons. You can pause and see what is left to learn. But this is a store that I worked on, and I've showed this in some of the previous videos, and one of the biggest reasons I was able to scale it to $100,000 in one day and see that exponential growth was because of what I'm about to teach in this lesson, and that is powerful advertorial and copywriting and understanding why somebody would buy a product, why they're not buying a product, and then doing as much as you possibly can to convince them to purchase your product. So a huge part of this, actually, additionally on top of that, was me building in the AI product recommendations. I've had a few people asking me that from the previous lessons. If you're interested in ChatIQ's AI product recommendations and customer support, you can go ahead and click the top link down below in the description, and I can give you a demo of our software and show you how you can scale your store. But this is the most important thing that we need to work on when we're building our landing pages, and that is understanding how to make customers buy. Typically, there's like 4 things you kind of really want to focus on when you're building your landing page, and we're going to go through this in more detail, but I'm just going to list them off for now. First of all, we're going to write this as if we're from the point of view of the customer, as if we are in the same boat as that customer. And the reason we do this is because somebody can relate to someone who's been through the same problem. If you stand there and pretend to be a brand, or you pretend to be high and mighty and basically looking down on the customer, telling them that your product's really good, they're much less likely to believe it. But if somebody were to come to you and say, look, I've been through the same things that you have, I've tried the same things that you have, and I gave up hope as well, but actually it turned out that if you try this, you're going to start to see results. These are results that I saw. These are the improvements that I made, and here's what I recommend you do. It worked for me. It'll work for you. Here's a load of proof and testimonials. Go ahead and purchase this product. That is a much more convincing argument. And let me give you an example, right? You're someone who's building an e-commerce store, you're someone who's building a business. So I actually started, my first business I started was e-commerce, and I was running e-commerce businesses. And most of the time when I was running those businesses, I would see very, very poor results. Most of the time the store would see exponential growth and it would come crashing down. And I was losing thousands of dollars through doing it. I could never find winning products. I could never get anything working long term. And every single time somebody came to my website, I was getting really, really low conversion rates. So I ended up going to talk to a lot of coaches and consultants and try and work out exactly what problems I had and why this was happening. And they taught me how to actually build proper landing pages, how to build a proper business with all of the correct infrastructure, how to build proper advertising, and convince a customer who landed on a website to buy. Then what I did is I started to implement these. I started to build specific landing pages. I started to build specific product pages and brand that would actually convert customers through various different things using videos, marketing, UGC content, and actually put a lot more time and effort into what I was creating. And suddenly I started to see results. Now I've tweaked that strategy ever since, and that is what's been able to get me to these results and been able to do the same thing for hundreds of other e-commerce stores and businesses that I work with. And that is exactly what I'm going to teach you in this lesson. Now you can see how what I just said is a slightly more convincing argument, and obviously I just sort of whip that up. But if I had just said to you, trust me bro, I know what I'm talking about, you're much less likely to trust me. So essentially, if you can come from the point of view where you understand their struggles and you can understand their point of view, you've already got them on your side. And then what you're going to do is you're going to list out their beliefs and start to agitate those problems. Really make them believe and feel those problems again. We're then going to list out limiting belief that's stopping them from purchasing, break down those beliefs, and then put our products in front of them, explain to them how our products can solve those problems. So you may remember in some of the earlier videos we built this landing page. It's not yet finished, but essentially this is what we're calling an advertorial, okay? And an advertorial is just a long piece of copy designed to convince somebody to purchase. And you can see it's very different to most landing pages that you've actually usually see. And obviously, you know, we've got good brand images on the left, high quality images, and I kind of went through the science behind acne in this image in the previous one, but I'll just touch on this again. The idea of this is focusing on this section here. They have problems and beliefs, and their problems are they don't understand why they get acne on their skin. They don't understand why it happens to them, but it doesn't happen to anybody else. And you can use this image here. I don't honestly know the science behind acne, but that's not the point, right? But the point is you can show an image of a microscopic element of skin with. Basically, I think this is bacteria build-up. But basically, all I'm doing here is I am showing them something that's going to make them fear what they currently have in their mind, bring it to the forefront of their mind. And thinking that they have this all over their face is not a nice feeling. And if we can explain to them that this is what's causing the problem, and then our product puts, for example, I'm making this science up, but if you put, for example, if you were to say when you put this circular acne patch on this, it basically, the bacteria sticks to it, you pull it out, and it cleans out the pores in your skin, and that's what's causing your acne. Then you've got clean pores that can breathe. And imagine actually pulling all of these green and yellow dots out of this and just removing all of those. You could then really build a convincing argument for somebody that shows them the science behind what acne is, and then there's science that backs up how your product solves that problem. But you want to do this obviously in a way that people can understand. So I'll get to this in a little bit more detail in a second, but I want to compare this landing page to what we are building. So this is probably one of the worst landing pages I have ever seen. So we're going to read through it and we're going to analyze it. And essentially, I want you to think of the things I've just mentioned while we're reading through this. So the first paragraph, this is a sensory direct adjustable weighted blanket. It's our largest weighted blanket in our range and has interchangeable weights, making it the most flexible and durable weighted blanket available. So first of all, if you're a customer of this brand, you'll know about their other products. You'll know what a weighted blanket is. But if you don't know what a weighted blanket is, this sentence here is completely useless to you. It doesn't educate you. It doesn't teach you what it does. It doesn't show you how it's going to solve a problem. At this point, you're just thinking, why would I sleep with a massive heavy blanket on me? I don't understand. It doesn't make sense. I've heard the rave about them, but I don't understand why it's going to help me. They've done nothing here. The only useful thing they've added is interchangeable weights. And they haven't even explained why that's a useful thing for them. So this is like, out of this, I would basically copy this and say interchangeable weights. This is the one thing that's useful from this sentence. Just write that word down, and then we can actually weave that into our advertorial later. Okay. And when you're building your landing pages, you want to look at your competition and see what they're doing and see how you can improve it. The calming weight is contained in our uniquely designed tamper-proof pockets, ensuring even weight distribution across the blanket for maximum safety and effectiveness. It sounds like this was written by a 3-year-old. I don't even know what this means. I don't even know why this is useful. Again, weight distribution is good, but why is it good? Okay, if somebody's never bought a weighted blanket before, they don't know that this could be a problem. Okay, so there's no point bringing up problems that people don't know they have. You want to highlight the problems they have, and in this case, people would buy a weighted blanket because they've got sensory issues, right? Or they've got problems with sleep. So these are the things that should be at the top of your landing page, not this crap. Okay, so if this is what you're writing on your landing page, just stop. It's just not going to work. And then they just listed out a load of features like the lifetime warranty is good. Okay, I will allow that. This complete bollocks. I don't even know why that's on there. Again, meh, whatever. This is kind of okay, but this would be within the science section, right? This would be the science behind sleep or insomnia, right? And then you can then use that and then back it up, and you can say, look, well, this is the science behind the product. This is what causes your problem. And then this is how we then built a product, which is now actually being registered as Class 1 medical device, blah, 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 because it solves that problem, right? So you're setting, by doing this, right, by building an advertorial, you're setting up the, if anybody has questions, right, you've already built a frame that you can then build off and argue off to try and answer and resolve their problems and beliefs. Again, specifications, just bollocks. Specifications, it's just probably one of the worst landing pages I've ever seen. There's nothing on here. If I were to rate this out of 10, I'd probably give it a 2 or maybe even a 3 out of 10. The conversion rate on this landing page will be about 1%. And if we're running an e-commerce store for the first time, we want to be aiming for a 2 to 3 or even 4% conversion rate. And this is never going to get us there. And if somebody's told you that just by adding the title of the product at the top and putting a few reviews and then just putting a few images, you're going to make $100,000 a day, they're an idiot. Basically, what you want to have is a title which is going to agitate them, it's going to show them the problems they're having, and it's going to kind of highlight how it's going to solve their problem. So now we've gone through that, let's just have a look at the title I've got on this one. And obviously, right, this is for a weighted blanket. Okay, let's do another example. This landing page, obviously, this is boots, right? But Hero Mighty Pimple Patch is original 24. I'm not saying that these guys are specifically designed to, I mean, they've got the brand, they just buy other people's products, right? And this is obviously a well-known brand. But the point is, this product here, there's nothing on here which is really properly explaining how the problem is being solved. So let's have a look at the opening line for this acne product. Tired of acne, tried everything, emotionally drained, right? In the previous video, we went through comments on TikTok. People were saying the problems that they were having, and these were the 3 most common problems that people had, and they were sharing in the comments. So we made those the headline of our landing page. First of all, tired of acne. They now know that this page promises to help them in some way with acne. This page is designed for acne. If they're not tired of acne, they're going to click away. So we are focusing on our target audience straight away. Then, this line here just basically brings in a whole load of intrigue. This weird natural remedy clears scars in days with 0 chemicals or medication. That is significant improvement to large weighted blanket adjustable. I don't know who wrote this, but a 4-year-old probably, right? And if you hired somebody who writes copy like this, just fire them. This is honestly like it just stresses me out so much. So essentially, what we're doing here is there's like 3 sets of building a headline like this. The first part is this weird natural remedy. This just brings in intrigue while at the same time explaining that the product's natural. So now they're intrigued to read on because it's this weird natural. It's something they may not have seen before. They're intrigued to see why it's a weird natural remedy. Okay, so and I went through this in the previous video. Basically, what we're focusing on here is the product is designed to sell to people who want a natural solution to their product. Because when we went through the TikTok video, and again, you've got to go back to like it's lesson 4 for this stuff. Yeah, so we did all of this stuff in lesson 4 where we built this landing page, okay? So if you want to find out what I'm talking about, go back to that lesson. But basically, this weird natural remedy clears scars in days. So you've given them a timeline of when this problem is going to be solved. So now they know this product is a natural product solution. Sorry if you can hear any noises outside, by the way, somebody pressure washing their car. The second thing is it's going to clear this problem in days. So whatever problem they had before, that problem can now be solved in a matter of days. And also, as an added bonus, there are no chemicals or medication. Again, this was another problem that people had with other acne solutions, is they were basically selling, and they were fed up and tired of putting on these weird chemicals that weren't actually solving any problems and just making their skin worse. So we have now, in the first couple of lines, addressed that we are promising to solve every single problem that they have. The main concerns and problems they have about most products and their entire problem will be addressed, okay? And this comes down to understanding their struggles. Okay, so this is the first part. We need to write copy that customers can relate to. So we're writing this from the point of view of that customer. Now, this part here I haven't actually gone through because I haven't written this. I copied this from somebody else, right? But we'll just analyze it and see if it's any better at all, and I'll tell you what I think we should change. Okay, so how do whatever that word is, patches work? I wouldn't necessarily start off with that. You now want to talk about the emotional sell, right? You want to start to make them really believe the problems that they have and bring those problems to the forefront of their mind. Because when somebody lands on your page, assuming they've seen your video, they probably are thinking a little bit about their acne problem, but they've not been sitting there stewing on it all day. You want to imagine, right, somebody who's in the position who really wants to solve a problem. There are points in the day where they have that strong problem and that strong emotion that needs to be solved. It may not be the case that when they click on your ad, they're currently in that frame of mind. Think about one of the times you've had a really big problem in your life and you've wanted to solve it instantly. You probably went to sleep and woke up the next day and it wasn't the forefront of your mind. Or you went to work and then you sort of pushed it back. These are the positions that most people who come onto your website are in. They know they have that problem, but they've kind of pushed it to the back of their mind because they're trying to deal and cope with that problem. So what you want to do is bring all of that shit to the forefront of their mind, okay? Because when they know all of those things, and when you sort of, if they're in the frame of mind where they imagine they are, you're trying to make them imagine they're currently in that position, right? They're currently feeling that problem and they're feeling their worst about that problem. The reason we do this is because once we get them into that state of mind, it's much easier to sell them on a solution to that problem because they know, they are consciously aware that they're in that state, okay? That is what we're kind of trying to do with the opening statements of this, okay? So, understanding their struggles, here's what I would do. I would write this from the point of view of somebody that has been in this problem before. So if we come back to the landing page, we're going to come up to the top and we're going to go back to here and we're going to write this from the point of view. So we're going to say, hang on. Okay, so here we go. This is a rough idea or example of what I'm trying to get at, right? I start off with saying I felt like giving up hope. And the reason I'm doing this is because most people who talk about, if I bring up the TikTok video again, right, and I apologize that this is a very sporadic video, but hopefully this is going to explain to you kind of what we're going on. So most people who watch the video and have problems with acne have issues with the fact they're going to give up hope, or they've tried everything, or they feel emotionally drained, right? Look at this, specifically emotionally drained. Look at the comments here. People never understand. Hurts so bad. It's draining, right? That's where I got it from on this comment. I don't know if there's any other examples. This is so draining, right? That's another example. I don't know if I can do... Right. So there's 3 examples here where somebody said this is emotionally draining, okay? So what we're doing is we're basically finding specific problems that people have had in the comment section. These people are just talking about it, right? And we are then bringing that to the forefront of our conversation. So I've said here they felt like giving up hope. Same sort of thing. I wonder, actually, if anybody has said hope or not. Don't know. I don't know if hope is a key word that people have used, but essentially you get the idea, right? But the point is, I've said I felt like giving up hope. I've struggled with acne for as long as I can remember. Spent hours in front of the mirror, wishing I had clear skin. And the reason I said clear skin, right, is because depending on the advert that you're creating, what you want to do is when somebody watches the advert and when they come to your website, you want them to be in the exact same frame of mind, right? If the advert has showed them clear skin and the result of acne face first, clear skin afterwards, you want to basically start to bring that to the forefront of the conversation. The video here is, I hate my skin, I wish it was clear, right? That's why I've put that right at the top. I remember the first time my mum and I went to a dermatologist where she prescribed me tetracycline. Supposedly, the miracle drug promised to clear my skin, but after trying this for almost half a year, my skin became worse and I was at my lowest ever. I thought I'd always have acne scars. Okay, now, you can shrink this down. I think this is probably a little bit too long, but the point is, we are, first of all, coming from the... Let me just save this so we don't lose it. We are coming from the point of view of understanding the struggles of that person, of that customer. We now know when somebody reads this page, they feel like they're being understood. They feel like they're talking to somebody who knows and understands the problem that they're going through. Because the problem that they have with buying a product is every single person who seems to be pushing it on them doesn't really understand what they're going through. And they don't really understand that when they say the products don't work, and they keep pushing products on them, that nothing's going to work for them. So they need a new solution. They're desperate for something new. And when you come in from the point of view saying that you've been in the same position, you already have them on your side, okay? There is slightly disingenuous marketing tactics in this, obviously, but it works, right? And you say, focus on the emotional sell. And that is what I'm doing here. This is an emotional sell, right? They are now thinking... And most people, right, who have problems with acne would have gone to a dermatologist, most likely with their mum, okay? Most people, and also you've got to think about your demographics, okay? The demographics of people who are buying this product, what age group are they? And if this sentence here is that this is basically, I basically Googled common acne medication, right? And this is usually the first choice of treating acne is this product. That's why I put that on there. So most people would have been with their mum to a dermatologist. Check 1. They relate to that position. They tie that memory with an emotion of how they felt when they visited the dermatologist. They have also most likely been prescribed this. And also the reason they're on this page is because this did not work, okay? So supposedly the miracle drug. They thought finally that this drug was going to save them, it was going to help them, it was going to solve the problem. This promised to clear my skin, but after trying this for almost half a year, they probably did try it for about 6 months. It takes 4 to 6 weeks to supposedly start to see results. My skin became worse, I was at my lowest ever. This is an emotion. They were currently at their lowest point. I thought I'd always have acne scars. We are instantly making them, we're bringing that problem to the forefront of their mind by using an emotional sell, okay? And the whole goal of this is to do this all the way through our landing page. So now we're going to make them feel heard, okay? And this is like the point where I'm writing this from the point of view of somebody or a dermatologist, for example, who is in the position that, or was in the position that they are in, and then has tried loads of other medications, tried loads of other things, got fed up, and then found a new natural remedy that can solve that problem. And the new natural remedy is the product that we're going to be selling. I'm not saying that you would sell the acne patch for the natural remedy, but you kind of get my point. Right, so the next thing you want to do is agitate these beliefs and problems, okay? Highlight the problems and make sure they believe that these problems will never go away. Because, right, and I've done that partly, right? I thought I'd always have acne scars. They have tried the miracle drug and it didn't work. You want to start bringing in, now they're kind of thinking about the problem, you want to start agitating those problems and making them really feel, imagine like somebody came to you, right? And I'm trying to think of a good example here. Imagine you're about to do an exam, right? And somebody came to you before the middle of the exam, or some point, you know, you've been revising and then you're relaxed a little bit. And somebody came to you and they started to talk to you about the exam, and then they say, "Oh, did you study this part of the exam?" And then you start to think, "No, I haven't even thought about that." And then they start to talk to you about the revision strategy that they did and all the different things that they've learned and how they've started to make sure and how confident they are they're going to make things work, right? Now you're starting to really get stressed about the problems that you have, that you might fail that exam. And that's kind of what you're doing here. That's agitating the problems. It's showing them that what they're trying isn't working. And they basically scarcity. You want them to believe that they have to solve this problem really, really quickly, okay? You want them to re-feel the pain and problem again, okay? So we've now moved them into that point where they are now in a position where they're happy to pay for something to solve this problem because they are at their wits' end with this problem. Okay, and you can do this in any way for any product, but in this case, it's a lot easier when there's a problem that they can physically feel or physically see or physically have quite often. Now, this bit is quite important because when somebody's gone through this, they're now in the mindset where they're thinking, right, I'm happy to pay for something that's going to solve my problem, but they still have limiting beliefs that your product's going to help them. Yes, you've got them on your side a bit, and yes, they trust you some more, but what's stopping them from buying? They've tried other things before. What makes your product different? Okay, and I went through this again in episode 4, but basically what we're trying to do here is we're trying to say to them, everything you've tried before doesn't work. My product does work, okay, but you've got to make that leap between here and here, right? Just because you believe that product works doesn't mean they believe it. So what's going to make them believe it? So the easiest way to do this is list out their limiting beliefs. And I went through this in lesson 4, but I basically said, if you look at other products and reviews of other products and what people have said, and the easiest way to do this, right? I wonder, actually, if we can do an example. If we take this and we put this into TikTok and we search for that, I don't know if this is going to work or not. Did your acne ever come back? So, okay, that is a concern that people have about products. Okay, right away, you need to then write that down. Okay, that is a pain point or a problem that people have. That's a limiting belief. Whatever product they've bought, the acne has usually come back afterwards. Okay, so first of all, we can solve that problem where we can just say, no, it doesn't come back, right? So you would write that in and you would say, so imagine like this is further down here. Created this product, right, started to see results. Okay, so I created this mix of X, Y, and Z. It started to work. Even after 6 months, there was no sign acne was coming back. Okay. And then what you can do, I can't see my keyboard, create this product, blah, 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 buy now, all right, okay, and then down here somewhere you want to say, look, and then actually to be fair, I would do this in like a testimonial or a review section, and then we'll do this one, this is by Samantha, right, I was worried that this wouldn't work, everything I've tried has failed before, but this time, but with this product, obviously put the name of your product, it cleared the acne in X months, and now 4 years later it hasn't returned. Okay, right, so now we're actually targeting that limiting belief somewhere in our copy, right? And you can do this better. You want to put this further up as well, and gradually you want to mention, right, that you tried this product and the product actually works and the acne doesn't come back, and you want to weave that throughout your text. Okay, how long did it take to see results? That's another limiting belief. When they try these products, they want to see these results quickly. Okay, so you can say, look, I put this on the acne patch, and then within 6 hours when I took it off, that spot cleared. I then applied this cream and it kept the acne down. Okay, that's another thing that you can do. Now obviously, realistically, you want to make sure that your product actually does this and it does actually show these results. I don't know if there's any specific examples where people are talking about this specific. Did your skin stay clear once you came out of it? Again, this is more people having exactly the same concern. How long did it take before you started seeing progress? I just started the other day. Okay, so this is exactly, you know, people have limiting beliefs, and limiting beliefs are the same between multiple people. So in this case here, you can see that multiple people have shared the same limiting belief. So we know this is a big problem. So if we don't actually address this in our copy, they may not buy. If we can make them believe that it resolves their problem quickly, acne doesn't come back, it's a natural solution, and everything that they've tried before doesn't work, but this new solution does work, there is no reason why they wouldn't buy, right? The only reason they wouldn't buy is because, are there any side effects, right? Again, that's another limiting belief. Did this stain your teeth? Another limiting belief. There we go, right? So that's like 5 or 6 limiting beliefs in like the last 2 minutes. So we list out our limiting beliefs, and then we realize that's what's stopping them from buying other products. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to get those limiting beliefs out of their mind and make them believe that our product does solve those problems and doesn't have those problems that they have with other products. Okay, and you can just do that by writing copy. Have they tried other things before? And that's the same part of what we just did. What are the requirements from your product? And again, these are the limiting beliefs. So once you know these limiting beliefs, you want to write them down and you want to weave these into your product, and you want to say, I thought this would happen, but instead this happened. Or I thought I would get side effects, but actually I felt better while I was on it. It cleared my skin and my mental health improved, right? Because it cleared my skin quickly. Okay. I thought it would come back. You know, in other cases, everything I've tried before, I stopped taking it and then the acne came back, and it came back worse. In this case, I tried this product and it cleared the acne. And the best part was when I stopped using it, it didn't come back and everything was perfectly fine, right? So that is called breaking these beliefs down. And the easiest way to do this is by showing them what they did believe and then what they should believe, and weaving that through using an analogous story. You know, and that's basically just telling a story by saying, you know, these are the things that I thought, these are the things that the beliefs that I had, but then somebody told me, you know, I'm trying to think of an example for this, right? This is for the position point of view where you're writing something as if you're not writing from their point of view, but you could say, I never, you know, I was always dubious of these things before. Okay. Let me just, okay, right. So basically, right, here's an example. You are selling this acne product. Somebody comes through and they say, I don't believe this is going to work because acne always returns. No matter what the product is, the acne always returns. So all you need to do is say, I was in this position before and I had acne. I had tried every product before and I thought nothing was ever going to work again. But then one day I spoke to James, and James told me, have you tried this thing? He was in the same position as me and he had tried it and he'd seen great results. And at this point, I thought, you know what, why not? It's kind of got to be worth a try. So I tried it. I then started to use it, and suddenly it started to work. I then stopped using it, and I didn't get the results. I didn't get it coming back, right? It's a very poor example, but you get the kind of idea. It's an analogous story, and you're basically showing them that somebody else, and another way of doing this is saying the person who told you it is somebody who is already respected in that community, right? So in this case, you could say, I spoke to a doctor, right? And my doctor told me, I went private, and my private doctor told me this. So I tried it. And when that doctor told me this, he told me all the problems that were with these other products. I spoke to my doctor and he confirmed for me that that product that we tried, right? This product would actually not solve the problem. When you stopped using it, the acne would come back. It has adverse side effects. But he did say, if I try this, give a go with this new product, because you're not going to see these side effects and these problems. So I tried it and it worked. Okay, so like you get the idea of what I'm talking about. Obviously, I'm just spitballing here. You would spend some time actually planning this out, but hopefully that kind of explains a little bit more how to break down their beliefs. And basically what we're trying to do here is when they read through our entire copy, by the time they get to the end and they've listed out these beliefs, right, so imagine these are some of their limiting beliefs why they wouldn't buy a product. The idea is by the time they've read your entire advertorial, you have dealt with every single one of these, right? So somebody who thinks that every single product they've tried gives them adverse side effects and maybe they could get heart problems, right? If we can deal with that, we can say, look, I thought this, but now it doesn't. I've made sure that that's not the case. Now they will no longer believe there will be adverse side effects or heart problems. How long until results? They want to see results quickly. So you want to explain to them that actually every single product before would take 6 to 12 months and then the acne would come back. But this product will actually see results within a matter of hours, and then if you apply this cream on top, those results or that acne will never come back. You've dealt with that problem. They're going to get the result that they want. Does it actually work? Yes, I've been through the same thing. I didn't believe it would work. I tried it. Now it does work. And then also here's a load of reviews and testimonials of people who've tried exactly the same thing, who have also had the same limiting beliefs and have also seen the same results where these limiting beliefs were broken down. Dealt with that one. Did it ever come back? Again, if you can explain to them that you were in the same position, but you tried it, acne never came back. Again, you can show testimonials here. We can deal with that one. Is it a pill? Do I need to take a pill, or is it just a cream that I can have? Most people don't want to eat something, right? They hate taking pills, all of those sorts of things. If it's a cream, it's much easier. So deal with that limiting belief. So the idea is now, by the time they've read the entire advertorial, these problems that they thought they had with every product they bought before, they no longer have. Right? There's no reason for them not to buy now. The only reason they wouldn't buy is price. But Price is actually a very easy objection to overcome, because throughout the entire thing, right, throughout the entire advertorial, we want to weave in here the value that this product had on their life. So the emotional increase, so the better their emotions were after trying this product. How actually it wasn't very expensive, or how, because you spent thousands of dollars on other products before, now this product is the final product that you ever need to try. You no longer need to spend thousands of dollars on other products. This is actually very, very easy. It's not going to cost you a load of money, blah, 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 blah. So you've weaved price throughout the entire thing. And again, price is a limiting belief. So by the end of it, price is no longer even an objection. So when you say buy this product at the end, and you'd have a button at the bottom here that says buy, by the time they get to the end, they're like, yeah, I'm going to buy this product. Of course I'm going to buy this product. It solves every problem that I've had before. This guy has been through exactly the same thing that I've been through before. He's told me that this is a natural solution. It's going to fix the problem in days. It's got no medical problems that it's going to cause. It's not going to cause any side effects. The results will last forever. I only have to take it for a few days. The acne never came back, and it actually works. There's a whole load of, thousands of testimonials and proof of this working. He's told me about the science behind this, and now I actually believe this is going to work. So yeah, I'm going to buy it for $50 or $20 or whatever it is. Okay, so that is like understanding how to make somebody buy your product. Okay, it's not actually rocket science when you really break it down like that. But the reason that most people fail is they write landing pages like this. Okay, they write stupid little landing pages like this, and they copy the copy off AliExpress, and they look at what other people have done, and they do exactly the same thing. If you go onto this person's website and you think, oh, great, this guy's making thousands of dollars a day, I'm just going to sell the same product, I'm going to write exactly the same thing, I'm going to duplicate it, copy and paste, and you think that's going to work, that's what's causing you problems. Okay, if you can actually think outside the box and understand why somebody wouldn't buy the product, and then make sure that they, by the end of reading everything that you have to say, will have no reason not to buy your product, you're setting yourself up for the best possible situation. Okay, finally, I think we'll probably have time to squeeze this in for this video. I want you to understand customer experience and buying behavior. So we've kind of gone through limiting beliefs and why they're not buying, but this is part of the consideration period, okay? And typically the consideration period is a few days to a few weeks. And they have to go through a thinking period before they then make the decision to buy your product. And what your job is, through writing your advertorial, is to reduce that consideration period down to a matter of minutes, okay? A huge part of reducing this consideration period down is answering people's questions. If they've got questions about a product and you don't, also, right, just as a side point, if you don't know what questions and problems people have about the product, do your research and write these down and just sort of add in what you do know. But then you want to gather feedback and find out what other problems people have that you hadn't yet thought of. Because once you know these things, let's say you ran a store, okay, and you're standing by the door, and they came through, and you gave every single one of them a sales pitch, which was your advertorial. They read this advertorial, and by the end of it, they were convinced to buy. But then every now and again, somebody would come up to you and they would say, okay, but what about this? Does this happen, or does this help? I've got this problem specifically to me. Is this going to solve this problem? What you would do is you'd write down those specific problems, and then you would go and adjust your sales pitch. But you need a way of, on a website, understanding those problems that people have and changing those and writing those questions down, and then obviously updating your landing page. And the way that and then obviously as an end result, like, your consideration period drops, which means when you spent money for somebody to come onto ads, they're going to get to the decision-making purchase to actually pay you that money back significantly quicker, because you have reduced this consideration period down to a smaller amount of time, like a matter of minutes rather than 2 to 3 days. And the reason they have to consider a product for longer is because of lack of information. They can't just if they sit and think about it, all they're doing is thinking about the product based on the information that they've got. Going away and thinking about it isn't necessarily going to help them make a better decision. The thing that makes a decision is information. And if they don't have access to that information, then they're not going to make a decision any quicker. So your job is to make sure that you give them enough information. And that is why I built my software. Because I figured, right, when somebody comes onto a landing page, if they're asking a question about a product, for example, this is the example store that I built just to show this. If they've got a question about a specific product, if I could feed that into an AI sales agent, or just have a salesperson on the website, when somebody asks them a question, for example, recommend me this product, it could do that, but also it could handle those limiting beliefs. So for example here, how much do I need to use per usage? Okay, it can answer that question. Or if you go in and you say, will this arrive before my friend's birthday? Yes, right? All of these are limiting beliefs. These are things that are stopping them from purchasing. So if we can get a chatbot or an AI to answer answer all of these questions, by the end of it, they're like, yeah, cool, I'll buy this product, because there's no reason for them not to by the end of it, because your AI has sold them on every aspect of that. And if the AI isn't able to do that, because it doesn't have that information, you now have access to this question, right? You now know that this is a limiting belief that you hadn't yet thought of. So you can go ahead and then update your website to include that information on your landing page. Okay, so how do you do this? Well, if you want to get access to this, you can go ahead and book a call with me down below, and I'll give you a demo of my software. It's not going to, I'm not going to try and sell you on $10,000 product. It works if you're a beginner, if you've just started your store, or if you've already got a store and you're trying to increase your conversion rates. And this is also the software that can do customer support as well, and do support ticketing. But hopefully this video sort of taught you something, and hopefully you've now learnt a little bit more about copywriting and how to actually make sure somebody who comes to your landing page is going to buy your product. And you can see the difference between a bad landing page and a good landing page. In the next video, we're going to go through, okay, this is average order value, cost per acquisition, conversion rate optimization using Chat IQ. We've kind of covered advertorials, but I'll try and see if there's any other bits and pieces we can add in, but social proof is also a very big one. Then we're going to go through scaling, and then also a short case study about Chat IQ and how I scaled this store to $100,000 in one day. But I will see you guys in the next video.